Before I start tonight, we have a special guest. Kay is here with us tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming. My father died 52 years ago at the age of 58. So very few people here knew him. You knew him as a PhD in biochemistry. You knew him as a pediatrician in the medical school. You knew him as a scientist and a visionary in his field. He could have worked for a pharmaceutical company. He could have been in private practice, but no. He wanted to help the world and dedicate his life to helping people. We children knew him as a wonderful father. Having a pediatrician as a father was a real benefit. If we had a strep throat or broken finger, extreme gas, an earache, whatever, he was there. He would be coming home that night, or he was in the house when we had it. He was a well-rounded person, not just a scientist or academician. We would go to the red gym and shoot baskets sometimes. We played golf at Odana Golf Course. He invited me when one of his professor friends couldn't come. He didn't want me to come all the time because I always beat him. He loved going fishing. We would go to the Union, rent a boat, and row out 10 or 20 minutes and put a drop line in and catch 5 to 20 fish, bring them home and cook them. And he really, really enjoyed fishing. He loved comics. Every Sunday, he got the comics and he'd sit in his chair and laugh, and he had a big, big, loud laugh. He loved jokes. He loved telling jokes. He spoke fluent Yiddish, and he loved telling jokes in Yiddish, probably because I didn't understand them. There might have been some bad words there, I don't know. We always had a garden. Wherever we lived, there was a garden. And he loved taking me out there and my other siblings and picking tomatoes and everything else. He introduced me to many people. I met Dr. Jonas Salk. I met several of the Kennedys. I met Virginia Apgar, who is responsible for the Apgar score when newborns are born. And I met Dr. Frederick Mose. My wife, when I was dating her, had a mole on her cheek and it started to bleed. So we went to see my dad, and he said, "Oh, we got to see Dr. Mose." So we went to Dr. Mose, and he took his little scalpula and did the Mose technique, and it was gone. And that Mose technique now is world famous. My dad was a very family-oriented guy. His parents lived in Milwaukee, where his brother did, and some of my cousins. And we would go there every 4 to 5 weeks, stay overnight, play with my cousins, and he would talk medicine and other things with his brother. Also, we'd go to Janesville, where my mother's parents were. And my mother had a sister there too, so we had cousins there also. So we switched off every month or so and saw a lot of relatives. He was a very supportive father. My brother, who was 10 and a half years younger than I am, loved racing go-karts. Wasn't my father's favorite hobby, but he wanted to support him. So he took him to the events once in a while and then left, didn't stay too long. Also, my brother loved skiing. Well, my father was going to Switzerland for a conference, and he felt he didn't give my brother as much attention as he gave me and my sister. So he said, "David, why don't you come with me, and I'll go to the conference, and you can go skiing in Switzerland." So my brother did. He loved that. My sister was an exchange student in Argentina during her junior year in high school. When she came back after a year, my father had a conference in Buenos Aires, and he went there and looked up her Argentine family when he was there, and he really enjoyed that experience. He took me to New York. He took me to Puerto Rico because I was studying Spanish during my junior year, and we just had a great time. My sister reminded me that my father always had a bow tie. You saw him in that movie? He had a bow tie on. And my sister said, "Dad, why are you wearing a bow tie?" And he said, "Well, when I was examining newborns or infants, they would always piss on my tie." I don't think he said piss, but anyway. So I guess it's easier to buy shirts than ties. I don't know. Most of my friends had pets. There were dogs, cats, turtle. We had a monkey. My dad thought it'd be interesting to bring home a monkey from the laboratory. I came home from school one day about 5 o'clock, went into the kitchen, there was a cage with a monkey in it. And I said, "Mom, what is this, dinner?" No. I said, "Mom, why is there a monkey in our kitchen?" She said, "Well, Dad wanted to bring this home as an experiment to see if you guys would like having a monkey as a pet." Well, that monkey was something else. He would open up the cabinets. He would knock over the canned goods on the floor, get into the spice rack and make a mess. He'd poop on the floor. One day, I heard my mother screaming in the kitchen, and the monkey was on her head and messing up her hair and making a big mess. And I heard her yell, "Harry, it's either me or the monkey." And my dad made a wise decision, brought the monkey back to the laboratory, and we never saw him again. Ever since I was 5 years old, people would say, "Hey, Don, you going to be a doctor like your dad?" And I don't know. I didn't know how to answer that, you know. Well, I graduated high school, found myself a sophomore in Wisconsin, and I was taking organic chemistry. So I signed up for med school, pre-med. I was taking organic chemistry the second semester. So in January, February here, it was -10 or -5. And I must have missed a few classes because I was flunking the course. So I went to his office, never ever asked for his help before, too proud or too stupid. And I said, "Dad, I'm flunking organic chemistry. Can you help me out?" He said, "Come on in, sit in that chair in front of my desk." He cleaned off his desk, told his secretary, hold my calls, and we went to work. We went from page 1 as far as we could get in 2 hours. I thanked him immensely, and I understood it. When he explained it to me, it wasn't really that hard. It just had to be explained properly. So I went to the exam. I got a B+ or an A- on the exam. 2 days later, I got a postcard in the mail. I got a C in the course. And I felt like $1 million, but I dropped out of pre-med anyway. Many people knew my father wherever we went. We went to get gas, we went to buy a shoe, we went skating in the skating rink. All the neighbors called him for medical advice. He was well known. When I was 16 years old, I got my driver's license. And I guess I was going down University Avenue way too fast, and I saw some blue and red lights behind me. I pulled over, and a policeman said, "Sonny, can I see your driver's license and your insurance card?" I said, "Yes, sir," and I reached into my pocket and gave it to him. And he looked at my driver's license longer than I thought he should, and he said, "Are you Dr. Waisman's son?" I said, yes, I am, sir. He said, well, your father helped our family tremendously when we had a child born with many problems. He was very, very helpful to us, and we will never, ever forget him. And then he said something I really wanted him to say. Okay, I'll let you go. I'll let you go. Teresa Palumbo, who works here, has been my go-to person. About 2 months ago, I called the center, and someone answered, Waisman Center. And I said, that's not how I say it, but I'll let it go. I'll let it go. So I asked for Teresa, and she wasn't there, so I said, I'll call back in a couple hours. So I called back, and someone said, Waisman Center. I said, that's not how I say it either, but it's getting closer, but I'll let that go too. But I want you all to know the real story. My father's father came from the Ukraine around 1910, and he was an orphan. So you can't come to this country as an orphan. You can't get a passport or a visa. So he had to take a family member's name, which was, I guess, Waisman, something like that. But his real name was Krasnovichuk. So today we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Krasnovichuk Center. So we'll stay with Waisman or Wise, whatever. That's okay. Well, because of this event, we tried to get as many Waismans here today. So I'm just going to introduce who is here. You might raise your hand if I call your name. My wife is here, Barbara. We got too many people. Wait till we're all done here. My daughter could not come here today. She lives in LA, and she had a big project she could not get away from. My son Aaron is here with his wife Isabel, and their two sons, my grandsons, Carlos and Ben. My sister Karen is here with her husband Steve and Karen Bloomberg. Their daughter is here, Michelle, came from Oakland, California. Their son Joshua is in Israel, and he was going to come today, but couldn't do it. My brother David is here with his wife Kathy, somewhere over here. They live in Spokane, Washington. Their daughter Sarah is here from LA. His other daughter Monica is here with her husband Ryan and Monica Jacobson, and their two children, Finley and Rowan. And it is Rowan's birthday today. Happy birthday. Also here today is my father's brother's family. My father had a brother, Dr. Raymond Waisman, a prominent orthopedic surgeon in Milwaukee. His son, Dr. James Waisman, is here from LA, somewhere. And his son, Dove, is here. And his another son, Zachary, is here with his wife, Emily. And Zachary just graduated medical school, and there'll be another Dr. Waisman around. However, I think they pronounce it Waisman, so there'll be Dr. Waisman. Dr. Raymond's daughter is here, Ellen. She's here with her husband, Andy, and Ellen Smith. On behalf of the Waisman family, we want to thank the Waisman Center for all they've done to include us in many of their events, and we feel very proud and My father's legacy is going to live on for a very long time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Don. Was he fun or what? Can we give him one more round of applause? I had the pleasure of meeting him just earlier tonight, thanks to my friends from TQ Diamond. So it's been an honor to know you. We're going to take a quick break for dinner, so enjoy.